Yeah, hearing what Rolani says and echoing really the sentiments. We know the quality that Sundowns possess. We've played them recently. We know how dangerous they can be, how slippery they can be to try to establish a proper press against. So we know that, and we know that we're also in the throes of trying to put down the supporting walls of the building so that we can decorate it nicely a little bit later on in the season. But we're quite happy with where we've gone. We're certainly not nowhere near where we want to finish. But we're definitely looking forward to playing Sundowns, because you're always guaranteed of an interesting both challenge and game of football. So we're hoping that we can improve and keep improving, and that will lead to an exciting game for everybody to watch. The challenge is working on team things when you don't have the complete team. So you start breaking down into smaller units, you know. But one of the things that we've worked on everything, to be very honest. We've worked on all aspects of the game. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're more difficult to play against in terms of being more efficient, of closing down certain spaces that opponents want, not just Sundowns, but all opponents are looking for them. Sundowns are probably better at that than most. But there's that, and then there's the efficiency of us picking our way through an established defence. That's one thing that we've got to get better at. So we've looked at tweaking the system a little bit. We've looked at changing the shape of the team when we're defending, to try and be able to break out a little bit more expansively. So we've worked at all sorts of things, but it's difficult when you don't have the full team. Now we'll get Karma back tomorrow. He's landed, and we'll get Daniel back, and the Bafana lads, they trained this morning for the first time. So it's been a challenge, but I think the same as Rolani, I think there's some good work being done, and we've got Lebo back. He's in a position where I can select him. Can he play a full game? No, not at all. But can he be on the bench and be an impact player? Probably now he can. So we've got a couple of positives from that. But all in all, it's been good work. It's been good. The players have worked very, very hard, and we gave them a few days in the beginning free, so they recharged the batteries. It's been quite a long time. Both us and Sundowns have been going at it for quite some time now, you know. So a couple of days to recharge the batteries was very welcome. I think with regards to the previous game, I think we weren't happy at all, Mark, with our first 30 minutes. I don't think, you know, going 2-0 down against Sundowns, you're well within your rights to feel that the game is going to be a bridge too far. But we did come back well in the second half, and I think we were pleased with that. I'm not sure if it gives us. I don't think it gives us a psychological edge over Sundowns, but it certainly gave us some belief that if we do certain things well, then we can be an unpleasant opponent for them. So I think that positive kick that you're talking about, I think that one we took. We took also a smack on the wrist to warn us that if you put your fingers in the fire against Sundowns, you'll get them bloody burnt. So I think that warning we will take. And going into this game, I think the question you asked Rolani, we've also got that. We've got Karma coming back from a long one, and we've got to make decisions on that. But I think those decisions are probably a little bit more gilt-edged for me, because we don't have that many players that can replace Karma with his quality. And so I'm really looking to maybe wrap him in cotton wool a little bit, yes, but certainly get him ready for the game. I think the boys. We had members of staff on the Bafana staff, so we privy to a little bit of inside information how the boys did, you know. So I think they all did really well on camp. I think that they've come back quite fresh. What I saw of them, their performances in the game was fine compared. I mean, considering that they're new to a new squad, and Jamolo playing as a midfield player, certainly he's comfortable enough on the ball to play there, and certainly if we were to play in a certain way, there'd be an absolute possibility that he could play as one of the midfield players. So I'm going to steal a little bit of Rulani's question there and say that I don't know where anybody got the idea that me and Rulani don't see eye to eye. I think probably on footballing terms we see the game being played the way the global game is being played, and we don't hide behind our own opinions as being the gospel as written by the coaches, So I don't see that. I mean, Rolani may chop me down now and say, "No, I hate the old sod," but I've never felt that. So there's a professional respect between me and Rolani as far as I'm concerned. Training with us now. He had as he started training, we were rehabbing him into training. So he had a deficiency in strength that we weren't happy with. So we didn't put him into a normal training. He was having modified training. He's now in full training. We've taken away those modifications and he's in full training. And he played 15 minutes when we played a friendly game against the Botswanans at the FMB. And he played very well and he was comfortable and he's fired up and he wants to be involved now. So I could select him on the bench, but that would be the maximum. And I don't think we'll get more than 20, 30 minutes out of him in terms of his football sharpness, fitness, but he would be available to me in that situation. What he brings to the team is probably everybody understands what he brings to the team, that extra bit of quality, that experience. And when he's fired up and concentrating, he does have that little bit extra, so we can play him in 2 or 3 different positions, but I've got one role that I want him to be able to play for us. And he's been doing that in training very, very well. So that's where Lebo is. Karma is travelling back, as Rulani said. I think he said one of his players got back 4:30. I think Karma may have even been on the same flight. He got in at that time. So you don't rush him into training this morning. You tell him go home, sleep, do something through the day, take a jog, do some Tai Chi, whatever you want to do. But just get yourself ready to be in more sort of normal training tomorrow. I agree with Rulani. In as much as the supporters, we missed them so badly. If the clubs are the muscle and the bones, and the supporters are the blood, and without that blood pumping in our bodies, we feel very, very weak. And so I just want to. The politicians will do their thing and find the best and the safest way, I'm sure, to get people into stadiums. And then for me, it's just the longing to actually do that. I looked at a game last night. It was from Denmark, and Copenhagen Stadium was completely red and white. Incredible. It was completely incredible scenes. And of course, that comes from after the tragedy of Christian Eriksen and the outpouring of love that they've got for their national team at the moment. But isn't that what we're all trying to do, Find a safe way to get the people back into the stadium. And I know that's been a challenge to find that safe way, because we've gone up one path and found it closed and gone down another one and find that closed. But I'm sure that the people that know best will find that safe way and get people back in the stadium. And I can't wait. And I'm sure Rolani's itching the same as me. So maybe sometimes hear that, you useless coach, ringing in your ears, but I'll take that just to get the English Football Association had the same ideas when I was with the English FA, and it's something that many national teams have spoken about, but it falls very, very quickly into a category of being very difficult because of, one, who will pay the players while they're away from their club training with the national team. If it's not under the auspices of FIFA, who will pay them? The insurances need to be paid if they get injured under that. Who would foot that bill for their wages if they came back injured? And there are many things. Being an ex-national coach, I would love to cooperate to the nth degree, but I can't forget the fact that I am the coach of Kaizer Chiefs, and they pay my wages, and I've got to get the best results for them. So I would pitch up in any way possible if it doesn't hurt our own programme, and if SAFA and the clubs could come to an agreement about who would actually pay for those 5 or 6 days or whatever it would be to be away from your club. Would there be a pro rata payment made by SAFA to the club? Does a sponsor step in and do it? There's a lot of questions to be answered. I would certainly sit down and talk about it because I've been a national coach and I know that time is of the essence for a national coach to get your ideas across and to get to know your players better. But you know, that's easier said than done on many fronts. From my side, Mazola, we've got Leo Castro, who's still in Colombia. He's doing he can't do any rehab yet after his operation. He's totally immobilized at the moment. So that one's way down the road. We've got Zuma, who's jogging. He's in that phase of his rehab. And we've got Sia, who is doing exactly the same. He's had a very bad one, and he's just in the jogging phase and jogging/limping. So he's not available anytime soon. So we've got Lebo back into normal training, and we've got the others back into normal training. We're managing Keegan and how much he can play. We're managing Karma. Karma's now played a couple of times for the national team, so I'm guessing he's fully integrated into the squad again now. So, excuse me, that's where we're at with that one. Daniel is on his way back from Nigeria. He didn't pick up any injuries. Brandon had a little bit of a tweak, but he's trained this morning and he looked very good. We'll see if he has any reaction tomorrow. Apart from that, you're always susceptible to picking up injuries between now and the game, but at this moment, that's what we've got. No, you said, is this an indication of who's going to be in it and who's going to be away from it? I think this is very early. I think everybody is trying very, very hard to put down these markers for everybody else. I think you take it in a heartbeat, you know, any sort of positivity that can help you going forward. And certainly a victory for one of the two teams in this game is a bit of a marker for everybody else. And it's also a positive sign that your development is going in the right direction. So all of those things said, if one of the teams loses this game, they will still be one of the people that I'm guessing is going to be there or thereabouts when we come to the pointed end of the stick. So, yeah, I think it's an important one for confidence, etc., but it's not a must-have. It's a nice-to-have, I think. That's right, what Rolani's saying there about the national team. I think we're all aware of the fact that you get a little time to work with the players, and what time you get, you need some sort of receipt that you're on the right track. It's very difficult sometimes to know exactly that you're on the right track as a coach, and certain things happen to give you that extra momentum to keep on going the same way. So, yes, I think it's a positive thing that we get the win against Ghana. The coaches will now look at what they did, and they'll look at what they can improve, and they'll take that forward. And I can guarantee you, as a former Bafana coach, that is a lot easier than working after a defeat. In the maelstrom of criticism from the 52 million expert coaches in this country, it's a lot more difficult if you've lost. So I'm pleased for the coaches, staff, the coaches of the national team that they get the results and they can carry on working in a positive atmosphere. Just one that Rolani was talking about with the ladies and stuff like that. You know, all coaches, all players, we're all the same. In fact, politicians the same. We cannot live forever. No man can live forever, but we can try to create things that will live forever.